Hello. Welcome back, lifers, to another episode of Life Points with Rhonda, the podcast that helps you navigate life's challenges with practical wisdom and actionable advice, where we discuss important topics that affect our everyday lives. Today, I'm speaking to the collective, and our topic for today is navigating the global inflation crisis, strategies for protecting your finances and your relationships. Now, I know that your time is valuable, so let's get started, okay? In recent times, inflation has emerged as a formidable global crisis, touching the lives of countless individuals across the world. As the cost of living continues to soar, the impact on our daily lives cannot be overstated, and the strain is not just financial. The stress and uncertainty brought about by inflation can lead to tensions in even the strongest of relationships. In this comprehensive episode, we will explore the multifaceted challenges presented by inflation, discuss strategies for financial resilience, and offer insights on safeguarding your relationships during these testing times. Understanding inflation. Before we delve into coping mechanisms, it's crucial to understand what inflation is and why it has become a global concern. Inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising, and subsequently, purchasing power is falling. Central banks attempt to limit inflation and avoid deflation in order to keep the economy running smoothly. However, when inflation spirals out of control, it can lead to a decrease in the value of money, making it harder for people to afford basic necessities. Several factors contribute to inflation, including increased production costs, higher energy prices, and government policies. Recently, the aftermath of the global pandemic has seen unprecedented amounts of stimulus and economic support measures, which, while necessary, have also contributed to inflationary pressures. Financial strategies. During inflation. 1. Budgeting and spending. One of the first steps in navigating through inflation is to reassess your budget. Track your spending meticulously and prioritize essential expenses. Reducing non-essential spending can free up more of your budget to accommodate the increased costs of necessary items. 2. Savings and investments. During inflationary periods, it's essential to protect your savings from losing value. Consider diversifying your investments to include assets that traditionally hedge against inflation, such as real estate, commodities, or Treasury inflation-protected securities. Tips. 3. Debt management. High inflation can lead to higher interest rates, which makes servicing debt more expensive. Aim to reduce high-interest debt as much as possible and be cautious about taking on new debt. 4. Income growth. Keep up with inflation by seeking ways to increase your income. This could mean asking for a raise, gaining new qualifications, or even starting a side business. 5. Stay informed. Keep abreast of economic trends and financial advice. Being informed will help you make better financial decisions and plan for the future. The impact of inflation on relationships. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of conflict in relationships. Inflation can exacerbate these tensions by increasing the strain on household finances. Here's how to navigate these challenges together. 1. Communication. Open and honest communication about finances is more important than ever. Discuss your worries, expectations, and financial goals with your partner. 2. Joint financial planning. Collaborate on budgeting and financial planning. Joint decision-making can help ensure that both partners are on the same page and working towards common goals. 3. Emotional support. Recognize that these are stressful times and that support and understanding go a long way. Be there for each other emotionally and avoid blaming each other for financial difficulties. 4. Compromise and sacrifice. Understand that you may have to compromise on certain desires or lifestyle choices. Work together to determine what sacrifices might be necessary to navigate through the inflation crisis. 5. Seek professional help. If financial problems are causing significant strain in your relationship, don't hesitate to seek the services of a financial advisor or counselor. These professionals can offer objective advice and strategies to manage your finances effectively. 6. Maintain perspective. While it's easy to become overwhelmed by financial concerns, remember that your relationship is about more than just money. Keep the focus on the love and mutual respect that brought you together, and remind yourselves that financial situations can and do change over time. Let's take a moment to step back in time and reflect on a period in history that resembles the economic challenges many of us are facing today, the inflation of the 1970s. Understanding this era can offer us valuable insights into how to navigate our current situation. The 1970s are often referred to as the decade of inflation. It was a time characterized by economic turmoil, with inflation rates reaching double digits. There were several contributing factors to this period of high inflation. Firstly, the 1970s saw two major oil crises in 1973 and 1979, which led to skyrocketing fuel prices and, by extension, increased production costs across the board. The oil shocks were precipitated by geopolitical events, including the Yom Kippur War and the Iranian Revolution, which disrupted global oil supplies. Secondly, the economic policies of the time contributed to the inflationary environment. In the United States, for instance, the policy of stagflation was prevalent, a combination of high unemployment and high inflation. The Federal Reserve's attempts to stimulate the economy through loose monetary policy inadvertently fueled inflation without addressing the underlying economic problems. Furthermore, the end of the Bretton Woods system in 1971, which had established fixed exchange rates and pegged currencies to the US dollar, which in turn was pegged to gold, led to greater exchange rate volatility and uncertainty in international trade. These factors, combined with rising food prices and increased consumer demand, created a perfect storm for inflation. The impact on households was significant. People saw their purchasing power diminish rapidly, and the cost of living soared. The era was marked by a sense of economic anxiety that touched nearly every aspect of daily life. So how did people cope? The 1970s taught us several lessons about resilience and adaptability. During that time, people learned to prioritize their spending, focusing on necessities while saving and investing more carefully. Many also sought additional sources of income, whether through secondary jobs or more entrepreneurial ventures. Moreover, the 1970s reinforced the importance of financial literacy. Those who understood the economic environment were better equipped to protect their assets against inflationary pressures. As for relationships, just as we see today, the financial stress of the 70s tested the bonds of couples and families. However, those who communicated openly, worked together to reassess their financial plans, and supported each other emotionally, often found their relationships strengthened through the hardship. What can we learn from this? While our current situation is unique, the past has shown us that with thoughtful planning, open communication, and a willingness to adapt, it's possible to weather the storm of inflation and emerge with both our finances and our relationships intact. As we continue with our discussion on navigating through the current global inflation crisis, let's remember the resilience of those who came before us and draw on their experiences to inspire our own journey through these challenging times. Integrating this historical context into your podcast can help listeners understand that while the challenges of today are real and pressing, they are not entirely unprecedented. It can also provide a sense of hope and resilience by showing that past generations have successfully navigated similar economic difficulties. Conclusion: inflation presents a complex and serious challenge that affects both our wallets and our relationships. The key to navigating this global crisis is a combination of prudent financial management and compassionate relationship care. By taking a proactive approach to budgeting, investing, and debt management, you can build a stronger financial foundation to weather the storm. Today, I'm going to present at least 3 hypothetical scenarios that illustrates how a couple might navigate the challenges of inflation. These scenarios can help you understand and relate to these issues on a personal level. Also, for those of you that want to stick around, I will also include a mindfulness exercise, which is designed to help listeners find a sense of calm and perspective amidst the stress of financial concerns and relationship tensions. So, let's jump back into our episode and take a look at Case Study 1, The Johnsons' Journey Through Inflation. Meet Emily and Marcus Johnson, a married couple living in a mid-sized city grappling with the recent global inflation crisis. Marcus works as a project manager in a construction firm, while Emily is a part-time graphic designer and stay-at-home mom to their 2 young children. As the inflation rates began to rise, the Johnsons noticed their monthly expenses climbing. Grocery bills increased, utility costs spiked, and even the children's school fees were adjusted to account for the higher costs of operation. Initially, the couple was not overly concerned. They had savings and believed they could manage the incremental changes. However, as inflation persisted, the financial pressure began to mount. The challenge: the Johnsons faced several challenges due to inflation. 1. Their savings were losing purchasing power as the interest earned couldn't keep up with the rising cost of living. 2. Marcus's salary, which hadn't seen a significant increase in 2 years, was not stretching as far as it used to. 3. Emily's part-time income was similarly static, and with 2 young children, increasing her workload was not a viable option. The strategy. Recognizing the need to adapt, Emily and Marcus took several steps. 1. They revisited their household budget, cutting non-essential expenses, and began shopping at more cost-effective stores. 2. The couple met with a financial advisor who suggested they diversify their investment portfolio to include assets that typically perform well during inflationary times, such as real estate investment trusts, REITs, and certain stocks. 3. They refinanced their mortgage to lock in a lower interest rate before rates climbed further. 4. Marcus mustered the courage to negotiate a raise at work, armed with data on inflation and the rising cost of living. 5. Emily leveraged her graphic design skills to take on additional freelance work that she could manage from home. The impact on their relationship. As the financial strain grew, so did the tension between Emily and Marcus. They found themselves arguing more frequently about money. It was during one of these arguments that they realized they needed to face this challenge together, not as adversaries. They began to schedule regular financial meetings to discuss their budget, new financial goals, and any concerns they had. These meetings helped them to stay on the same page and work as a team towards shared objectives. Additionally, they made a conscious decision to prioritize their relationship, setting aside time for date nights and family activities that were low cost or free, understanding that their emotional connection was critical during this stressful period. The outcome. Over time, the Johnsons' proactive measures began to pay off. While they still felt the pinch of inflation, they were better positioned to handle it. They had increased their income, managed their expenses more effectively, and most importantly, strengthened their relationship by working together and supporting each other through tough financial discussions. Conclusion: the Johnson story is just one example of how couples can navigate the murky waters of a global inflation crisis. By taking decisive action, communicating openly, and supporting each other, they were able to mitigate the impact of inflation on both their bank account and their relationship. Their journey highlights the importance of adaptability, teamwork, and the willingness to seek external advice when necessary. In conclusion, the Johnsons' experience serves as a motivational case study. It demonstrates that while global economic issues like inflation can indeed add stress to our lives and relationships, they can also be a catalyst for growth, fostering stronger communication and financial acumen. The takeaway from the Johnson story is that by facing financial challenges together, couples can not only navigate through the dilemmas presented by inflation, but also come out on the other side with a more solid partnership and a clearer vision for their future. Remember, it's not just about weathering the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain. And as the Johnsons have shown, with the right mindset and strategies, couples can turn the challenge of inflation into an opportunity to strengthen their bonds and build a more secure financial life together. Case Study 2, the Patel Partnership in Business and Life. Meet Ravi and Anjali Patel, a dynamic couple who run a small but popular cafe in a bustling neighborhood. As small business owners, they've always faced the challenge of managing business expenses, but the global inflation crisis brought new trials. The challenge: the Patels were hit with a double whammy when their suppliers increased prices due to inflation, and their customer base began to shrink as people cut back on non-essential spending. Their profit margins were squeezed, causing financial strain both in their business and personal life. The strategy? Ravi and Anjali implemented several strategies to adapt to these challenges. 1. They revisited their menu, removing items that had become too costly to produce and introducing new, more cost-effective dishes. 2. They negotiated better terms with suppliers and explored alternative vendors for more competitive pricing. 3. To retain customers, they amplified their marketing efforts, focusing on loyalty programs and special promotions. 4. On the personal front, they began to track their household expenses more closely and cut back on discretionary spending. 5. They also started a small online side business selling homemade goods, capitalizing on Anjali's baking skills to create an additional revenue stream. The impact on their relationship. The stress of managing a business during a financial crisis put a strain on the Patels' marriage. They found themselves debating frequently over business decisions and personal finances. Recognizing the toll it was taking, they agreed to set aside time for open communication, where they could express their concerns and brainstorm solutions without judgment. The outcome: the Patels' proactive business adjustments and improved communication helped their cafe to remain afloat during tough economic times. Their ability to pivot quickly and their commitment to transparency with each other allowed them to maintain not only their business, but also their strong relationship. Case Study 3. The Robinsons' Retirement Resilience. Meet Linda and Charles Robinson, who had recently retired and were looking forward to enjoying their golden years traveling and spending time with their grandchildren. Unfortunately, the rise in inflation rates began to eat into their fixed retirement income. The challenge: with a fixed income from pensions and savings that were not keeping pace with inflation, the Robinsons' purchasing power diminished, and their dreams of a carefree retirement seemed to be slipping away. The cost of healthcare in particular became a significant concern. The strategy: the Robinsons took several steps to adjust their retirement plans to the new economic reality. 1. They reevaluated their retirement budget, cutting non-essential expenses to make room for higher priority costs. 2. They met with their financial advisor to reassess their investment strategy, focusing on assets that could provide better returns during times of inflation. 3. They decided to downsize their home, moving to a smaller, more affordable space that also reduced their utility bills and property taxes. 4. They looked into part-time consulting work in their respective fields to supplement their income without sacrificing too much of their retirement freedom. The impact on their relationship: facing financial uncertainty in retirement tested the Robinsons' relationship. However, they found strength in their shared history and used their well-honed communication skills to support each other emotionally through this tough time. The outcome: after taking a hard look at their finances and making necessary adjustments, the Robinsons found a new balance in their retirement. Their downsized lifestyle allowed them to manage expenses better, and the additional income from part-time consulting afforded them some discretionary spending for travel, albeit less extravagantly than initially planned. By being proactive and willing to adapt their retirement vision, Linda and Charles discovered that they could still enjoy a fulfilling life, even if it looked different from what they first imagined. Their mutual support and unified approach to tackling financial issues reinforced their partnership and brought them even closer together. Conclusion of case studies. Each of these case studies presents a unique scenario in which couples encounter the challenges of inflation in different stages of life and business. These stories highlight the importance of adaptability, communication, financial planning, and emotional support when facing economic hardship. They provide practical examples for your listeners, showing that while inflation can be a formidable adversary, with the right strategies and a strong partnership, it is possible to navigate through the crisis and maintain a healthy relationship. So to conclude this episode, simultaneously, by fostering open communication, empathy, and teamwork in your relationship, you can reinforce your bond and overcome the pressures that come with economic uncertainty. Remember, while money is an essential resource, it is the resilience, adaptability, and love within our relationships that provide the true bedrock of support through any crisis. As you adjust to the new economic realities, take the opportunity to learn and grow together. With the right strategies and a united front, you can not only survive the inflation crisis, but emerge from it with a stronger relationship and a more secure financial future. For those of you that can find a comfortable and safe space, we will practice a mindfulness exercise. Please be aware of how you are feeling at the moment, and let's begin. Mindfulness session: finding calm in the midst of financial stress. Welcome to our mindfulness session. Wherever you are right now, I invite you to take a moment to pause, to breathe, and to allow yourself to just be for the next few minutes. If it's safe to do so, gently close your eyes. If you're driving or need to keep them open, that's perfectly fine. Simply soften your gaze and focus on a point in the distance. Let's start by taking a deep breath in, filling your lungs with air, and slowly exhaling. Feel the air pass through your nostrils, filling your chest and belly, and then releasing it, along with any tension you might be holding. Breathe in deeply and out. As you continue to breathe deeply and at your own pace, notice where you might be holding stress in your body. It could be a tightness in your shoulders, a clenching in your jaw, or a heaviness in your chest. With each breath out, imagine sending a wave of relaxation to those areas, allowing them to soften and release. Breathe in relaxation and breathe out tension. Now, I'd like you to visualize your financial concerns and relationship worries as if they were leaves floating on a gentle stream. See them as separate from you, simply as things that are passing by. You acknowledge their presence, but you let them drift along the water. You do not need to pick them up. You do not need to hold on to them. Breathe in peace and breathe out worries. Remember, like the ebb and flow of the water, our financial situations and relationships have their own rhythms and cycles. There will be times of abundance and times of scarcity, times of harmony and times of discord. But underneath it all is the constant current of life, strong, resilient, and ever-moving. Breathe in strength and breathe out fear. In this moment, you are okay. You are more than your finances. You are more than any conflict. You are a being of resilience, capable of adapting and thriving. Breathe in resilience and breathe out doubt. As we come to the end of this mindfulness session, start to bring your awareness back to the room. Feel the chair or the ground beneath you. Listen to the sounds around you, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes or lift your gaze. Take one last deep breath in, and as you exhale, carry this sense of calm and perspective with you into the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me in this moment of mindfulness on the Life Points with Rhonda podcast. May you navigate the waters of life with grace and love. I really sincerely do appreciate the time you have spent with me today on Life Points with Rhonda. Remember, in every challenge lies an opportunity for growth and deeper connection. As you know, your support means the world to me, and I'd love to keep you engaged in the community. Please, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a life-changing episode. Share our podcast with friends and family who might benefit from our discussions. And for even more exclusive content, be sure to check out our Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube channels, where we will start doing drawings and giving away fantastic prizes so you don't want to miss out. You can also reach me at lifepointswithrhonda.com. If you have topics that you want me to cover, please send in your suggestions through any of my social media channels. And if I choose your topic, you will receive not only a personal shout out from me, but an exclusive prize. So again, make precise and conscious decisions during this time of rising prices. Remember to honor your ancestors, and you will get through this season of uncertainty. Remember, as always, trust your instincts and make choices that feel right for you in your relationships. Until next time, stay informed, stay safe, and continue strengthening your relationships, one life point at a time. Take care and remember to always be well.